All right, let's jump right into this explainer by looking at a 19th century rebel whose intricate designs are still, honestly, incredibly popular today. We're going to explore the life, the artistic rebellion, and the totally enduring legacy of William Morris. You see, he wasn't just an iconic designer. He was a poet, a writer, an artist, and a really passionate social activist who completely transformed how we look at design, craftsmanship, and even our connection to the natural world. Now, you've probably seen these iconic, incredibly detailed floral prints on everyday items around you. They're on modern throw blankets, wallpapers, and, yeah, probably even your morning coffee mug. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder why patterns designed all the way back in the late 1800s are still completely dominating modern home decor today? Well, to understand why these specific designs survived for well over a century, we really need to meet the man behind them and understand the exact battle he was fighting.
The rebellion, crafting against the machine.
So, William Morris was fundamentally a man pushing back against the era's massive manufacturing shifts. Think about it. During Morris's time, the world was just rapidly moving toward industrialization. Factories were churning out mass-produced items, which led to what Morris and his peers viewed as a severe decline in Victorian taste. Basically, everything was becoming cheap, fast, and, frankly, kind of soulless. In direct defiance of this, Morris championed the arts and crafts movement. He wanted to reclaim the incredible quality, the complexities, and the deep details of medieval artistry. He actually had this profound preference for the Italian art of the 1400s, specifically because he loved the intense colors and the sheer level of detail that historical style really embraced. He firmly believed that creating high-quality, handmade products like handcrafted furniture and intricately woven tapestries was the absolute ultimate solution to this decline in taste. And for Morris, this belief wasn't just aesthetic, it was deeply moral. He felt that soulless machines created soulless homes. True quality just couldn't come from a factory line. It literally required a human touch. By prioritizing handmade goods, he believed we could bring dignity back to the artisan and surround people with objects that were made with genuine intention, skill, and soul. Section 2. The Muse. Inspiration from the garden. So, if you're going to fight a machine-driven world, where do you find your creative ammunition? Well, instead of looking at urban factories, Morris turned to the indigenous British countryside. He didn't just invent fantastical shapes out of thin air. No. He creatively utilized the actual native plants, flora, and animals right from his own garden. By just closely observing the natural design, the organic curves, and the true feel of the botanical world right outside his door, he was able to capture this incredible vibrancy that a machine simply couldn't replicate. And you can actually trace his creative evolution right through the years. It started back in 1862 when he created his very first design, called Trellis, while he was living at Upton, Bexley in the famous Red House. As he continued to observe nature and really refine his craft, his designs dramatically matured. I mean, by the 1870s and 80s, he was producing absolute masterpieces. We get Marigold in 1875, followed by Honeysuckle in 1876. Then came Brer Rabbit in 1882, and finally, one of his most famously celebrated works, Strawberry Thief in 1883. Each of these represents a much deeper mastery of capturing the organic beauty of the British landscape. Section 3. The Technique. Mastering the print. But listen, having a great design is really only half the battle, right? To bring these vibrant, nature-inspired patterns to the masses without sacrificing his handmade ideals, Morris had to become a technical genius. Looking specifically at the creation of Strawberry Thief, step 1 was pure observation. He literally watched birds swooping in and stealing fruit from his garden in West Oxfordshire. Step 2 was translating that charming, natural moment into a physical product, which actually required executing the design using incredibly complex printing methods. And step 3 is the market's reaction. Despite the really high prices required to produce such intricate work, his customers willingly paid up. They desperately wanted that unmatched quality that he was offering. Now, the real irony here is that to achieve this natural 1400s-style medieval artistry that fought back against cheap industrialization, Morris had to master highly technical, complex processes himself. Strawberry Thief was actually his first successful use of what's called discharge printing. This was an early industrial method where he essentially dyed the fabric a dark uniform color and then used chemical pastes to bleach out or discharge the intricate shapes of the design. This allowed him to print sharp, intense colors directly into those gaps. It was highly complex and super labor-intensive, but it was the only way to achieve the intense colors and sharp details he demanded for his art.
He wasn't anti-technique, he was just anti-cheapness. He used complex printing to actually elevate the handmade aesthetic.
Section 4. The Legacy, the Timeless Artisan.
And this brings us full circle. Just like his Victorian customers back in the 1800s, modern consumers are continually drawn to the unparalleled quality, the intense colors, and the deep, natural connections found in Morris's work. Designers today eagerly utilize his patterns because the core philosophy completely holds true. In a modern world overflowing with disposable, mass-produced goods, people crave items that feel like they have a human soul. They recognize true quality, and yeah, they still willingly pay for timeless artistry.
So, as you look at the everyday items in your own home right now, from your furniture to that mug you drink your coffee from, it kind of leaves you wondering, are we currently living in a modern version of that Victorian decline, surrounded by cheap, fast industrial trends? And if so, who is going to step up to be the modern William Morris and champion handmade artistry next?